Aside from NWC cards, what's the most money you've ever spent on a single video game?
I'm not going to say the actual values, but the most I've spent on a single video game would have to be. Do you see the Myriad 6-in-1 to your left on the shelf there?
No, but I've seen it before.
It should be right there unless someone stole
Oh yeah,
it.
yeah, there it is.
Let's show them. It's right there if you can get it for me. So, that's a Maxi 15, Ian. That's
Okay,
that's
all
not
right. I
the
mean,
Myriad.
whatever. I don't know. I don't know where it is, Pat.
All right. So the Myriad 6-in-1, as Ian puts that back in, I spent a lot on that. I think it's on the far left, actually, Ian. That's the most I spent money on. There it is. There it is. So there it is. Let's show the camera. Myriad 6-in-1, and the number matches the box and cart, which doesn't happen often with those to find that. So that, and then good old Magical Chase for TurboGrafx 16, I spent the most on. Differences being, Magical Chase was the last game I needed, so I had to get that. Myriad 6-in-1 was sort of a deal that fell into my lap, and sort of like, I'd be losing money if I didn't buy it. Basically, one of those sort of things that, like, if I was ever, which is how it's worked out with my rarer games now, where it's like, I'm not actively seeking it, but if it's a deal that's too good to be true, I sort of buy it. That's basically what happened with that game. Where
You'd
it's
be
like
losing money.
You'd be losing money. That's like the Jim Gaffigan thing where he sees like 2 Whoppers for like $4.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta buy it. I'd be losing money on this deal. I don't. So those were the 2 ones I spent the most on at a single time. And I have a couple more games I want to buy, and who knows how much I'll spend, but that'll probably be more. What about you?
For me, it depends on what your definition of spend is. My Sapphire, I didn't spend physical money on, but I did spend man hours on.
It was the cash equivalent.
Yeah, it was the cash equivalent. So that was probably the most I've spent on a game. In terms of money out of pocket, I went until last year. I went my entire life doing pretty good with bargains, ending up with games worth, in some cases, well over $100 without ever spending over $100 on them, until I finally broke down and bought a copy of Nexer for the PC Engine. I won't say what I spent on it. I got a good deal on it, but I definitely broke my rule, went over 100, and once you do that once, it gets a little bit easier to do it. I think I may have done it one other time for another game. Can't remember what, though, off the top of my head. Although there's a couple other games that I have my eyes on that I may go over 100 on.
It's not common for even me to spend over $100 on a game. I'm trying to think of even the NES library, at least cartridge. Obviously, getting a box like Chubby Cherub or Donkey Kong Jr. Math, I spent actually Donkey Kong Jr. Math I think I got for only about 100 or 90 at the time. But for the cartridge games, I don't know how many I spent over 100. There might only be one out of the entire NES library putting together where I spent more than $100 on a cartridge game.
Well, you did most of your collecting back when that was still somewhat viable, as long as you held out. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There will come a point. It's easier when I look at it in terms of how much I'll play something. A platformer, as much as I love them, I'm probably not going to spend more than 100 on. A shooter, I can justify it because I'll run a shooter into the ground.
So you base on how much you're actually going to play.
Yeah.
How much wear and tear am I going to put on this game?
A copy of Nexer, I've gotten more play out of a copy of Nexer than I ever did out of, various RPGs that, are, 60 hours in length. Well, I've probably run about 60 hours out of Nexer, if not more. I mean, I will sit there and play shooters forever. So.
All right. What about consoles? Does that count? No.
Nah.
Consoles don't count.
Nah.